Yeah. To click to change slides, just the next one. Okay.
Cool.
You may start now. Hi, everyone. So we are the Caffeinated Consulting Group. My name is Natalie. These are my two co-consultants, Alex and Mary. And today we are going to be addressing life floors problems and giving our solutions and recommendations to improve the company. So first, we're just going to give you a little bit of an analysis, give you our recommendations, our solutions. We're going to show you how we're going to implement them and how they will benefit the company, and then we will wrap it up. So if you aren't already aware, LifeFloor is a top-tier company that specializes in slip-resistant flooring. They do a lot of work on pools, water parks, playgrounds, etc. And the main problems that they are facing are what software tools they can use to improve the workflow without hiring more employees, and how can they streamline the process from the customer order to client solution and product implementation. And we think that updating the system use would be the best solution to this problem by minimizing the amount of manual work that the employees are doing and having them each team work on the information systems to keep up with the market demand. So for reference, this is the original workflow diagram that we were given, and later on we will get to the updated one that we have created with our solutions.
So now I'm going to move into the recommendations. So I'm sure you guys have heard of AWS, Azure, these cloud-based databases. So with this booming industry, I think implementing this would really help the company, as it is managed by everyone still in the company, and it allows access to everyone across the different softwares that we're going to be implementing. We also wanted to look at 3D visualizers. So me personally, I aspire to own a Rolls-Royce or a Genesis, one of those luxury brands. So while looking at them, they use visualizers to customize each one of their products. So they're able to send a link to their customers, and they're able to either customize a base model or they can do a bespoke option. So we wanted to incorporate something like that into the company for our customers, so they could also do the same. We also want to train current employees. I'm aware that they are already using AutoCAD, which is an industry-leading software for high detailed engineering and hyper-realistic engineering. So we wanted to integrate that in a better way than is already being used. So going further into AutoCAD, some of the pros, training is short for what we're looking at doing with the company. Implementing it with the current employees should only take about 3 months for what we're looking to do. It's also able to solve the problem of counting every tile. Even the custom ones, we found a script that would count the tiles and even tell you the waste ratio for how many of the custom tiles there are. It is also able to be exported into Excel. Everyone loves Excel. And of course, it's able to be exported to all your machinery and all of our cloud-based software. So it really connects with everything that we're looking to implement. But some of the cons, it does take a full year to master. So like I said earlier, we're looking at about 3 months for what we're trying to do, but to get all of our employees up to date on everything AutoCAD can do, we're looking at about a full year. It also is one of the more expensive ones, like I said, is hyper-realistic engineering software. So, and there are other competitors out there that do it for a lesser cost, but have less features. And I think we're a bit under budget, or we're under budget of the $100,000. So I think we have room for this more expensive software. So then we're going to move on to Sagiki. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. It's a company out of Milan in Italy. And it's a 3D and AR view. So like I was talking about with the Rolls-Royce and other luxury brands, this one is able to take a real-time prices and updating it based on which options the customers choose. So you can configure different options. And even if you wanted to do a custom option, it would update the price based on that. As you can put different functions into it, so you can take the percentage of tile used and multiply it by a standard rate of, doing a custom feature like that. You can also do multiple renderings. So clients who want different, want to check out different styles or different colors or different logos, they're able to upload whatever image they want and view it in real time. They can either use it via the link we give them and do it either, whatever setting they want, day or night, or they're able to open up their phones or iPads or tablets and project it onto an area that they're looking to construct tile and see what it looks like in the space physically. But some of the cons, it does require yearly payment. It's not that expensive, a little under $1,000. We'll get into that more later. It also may require an updated computer to run. And I know some folks out there are, shying away from using the AR technology. They might be confused, but hopefully they can work with our sales manager who will also be updated on this and work with them to make this a good tool for them.
Going off what Alex was saying, our last new adjustment for online databases would be Concentris, the Acumatica version of it. Just like NetSuite, it is an inventory management program. We just feel like this one has better cloud inventory management. So it's better with the warehouse management system and connecting and making sure we have the inventory that we need to get through the customer's designs as quick and efficient as possible. The only con we found with this program is that if the systems are down, it could be missing a bit of information, but that is any type of internet source. If a system is down, information could be lost or could be missing in the program. So this is our new network overview we came up with. So to start with our blueprint, it would be given from the customer to our design team. Our design team would then be working through AutoCAD directly with the installers to approve and make recommendations till we get that final decision. We decided to keep the installers within the program because it's the best way to reduce errors and reduce error costs, since they are the contractors and the people who are going to be cutting it and dealing with all of the actual information, the pieces, and the best way to reduce the error cost. But once we get that final decision, the final design decision, it will get sent through Zikiki, and through Zikiki we will get the quoted price based off of the custom designed pieces, regular cut design pieces, and the fixed cost. And that quoted price will then get sent to our sales manager, who is in direct contact with our customers. And once that gets approved and okayed, it will get sent to Concentris, which will then make sure we have the inventory in stock. And once we do have that inventory in stock and have all of that decided, it will get to our shared services, which is our last step before getting to the client solutions. And we will still use the Slack program throughout this overview, throughout this workflow, but it wouldn't be like a one set thing. It would be constantly used throughout our channel, the different channels and different teams throughout the workflow.
So here we have how much it would cost to implement this plan. So as you can see, AutoCAD is $2,000, and that is per employee. We do not know how many employees LifeFloor has at the moment on their design team, but it would be $2,000 to purchase the software, and then that would be it for that employee. And then Zikiki is $840 a year, and Concentris is $3,000 a year. So adding a new employee would be $5,840, and then keeping that after the first year would be $3,840. So I know a big problem with LifeFloor was the amount of time that it takes to create these designs. So before our plan would be implemented, it would average them 3 hours to create a design. But with our plan after, we would be eliminating that because the customer would come to us with their blueprint already. And then we would be using AutoCAD. The quoting is done through Zikiki, where when the customer adds in everything that they want and they get to play around with them, it'll give them an updated price. So the quoting gets eliminated. The inputting the data on the spreadsheet, that also gets about 5 minutes, because AutoCAD gives you the script and gives you what to put into Excel. Like Mary said, we plan on keeping the installer just because that would be our best bet when it comes to eliminating errors. And then the counts, that's also done through AutoCAD. Like Alex mentioned, they can count full tiles and custom tiles. So we're looking at saving about 4 hours and 55 minutes per project.
By looking at LifeFloor, we realized that the LifeFloor is supposed to increase revenue by $2 million this year. So we were trying to find a way to save time and save manual labor for the employees without increasing the number of employees. So we wanted to do that at the lowest cost possible. And with the extra budget you had for this, if you wanted to, like if LifeFloor wanted to hire more employees to increase the amount that they can do and they can create, they still have that extra budget to do so. Thank you.
Your projected presentation time has ended, and judges, you have 10 minutes to ask questions starting now.
Sure, so I guess I'll start. So thank you for the presentation. Very interested in all these technology solutions here. I have a couple of specific questions on Zakiki. How do we actually get that updated so that it can provide a quote?
So it takes, so we get the blueprint, we work with it in AutoCAD, and then we'll send it straight to Zakiki, and Zakiki is native to AutoCAD. So it'll take the blueprint and automatically upload it, or it'll have like a base, base models that it'll have that they can customize. But it has a system in there, just like I said, like with Rolls-Royce, it'll have like base prices for tiles of different colors, and you can put it in there. Even for tiles that you have to cut, you can put in different functions for that, for how much it'll cost. And even working with your sales manager, you can even further go into it. So it'll give you, we wanted to really give you between like a little bit more than a soft cost or like a soft quote, and more towards a final quote. So I hope that answers your question.
So all that complexity that we deal with manually today, we have to input into the system, all the
You have
different
to-
tiles, the cuts, the different locations around the world that we do installs, and the different rules and regulations. We have to upload all of that in software.
Yeah, but you would only do that once. So you would do it at one time during implementation. And then for the rest of your time, it would remain there, and you can update it as it goes, but it would all be automated once you put it in.
Okay, and do we have consideration for updating as we go, like what it's going to cost to continue to maintain, like as we get new tiles, as we work with new vendors for the splash pads and things like that?
Yeah, so like I said, you can keep updating it no matter what tiles or manufacturer you come, and it'll all go into Concentris. So that will also update all the inventory with it. So it works together via the cloud to update one another on what they have, each vendor, what's in the pipeline, what tile is going where, and where it's needed.
Question on your recommendation. Do you have a full cost to migrate from where we're at today to your recommendation? So that would be question one. What would that cost and timeline look like for us? And then the second one, you gave us costs for the licenses annually. Is that maintenance? Are there additional costs to that as you think about out years?
I guess I can take this one too. So these programs, they're very nice because you can customize them how you want. So like timeline wise, reading through the case, it seems like you guys are very quick, the company is very quick at updating things and moving from one to another. So, and I know you guys already use Concentris. This is just the other version of it. So like NetSuite, it's just the other version of that. So I don't think it would be very hard to implement at all. It offers more features, and we have a more extensive slide of all the benefits of using this versus NetSuite. So I would say it's usually about like a 3-month period to integrate everything, but maybe a little less since you guys already use it. And as far as full cost, I would say, since you guys already use AutoCAD, we included it in our price just to be safe. But since you guys already use it, and I'm assuming you already have it, I don't think it would be very much more. We saw prices for training around $1,800 per employee. So I can't really give you a final right now, but the other costs are $840 just a year for the subscription, and you can customize that too based off of what you.
So a quick question, when it comes to specifically quality assurance, when it comes to things like entering in information, right, making sure that our customers are putting in configurations that either are allowed or we're catching anything that maybe they're doing that isn't allowed. And then when it comes to QA specifically around the waste percentage, right, we'll often take, if we're cutting off, 75% for a tile, right, we may place that waste somewhere else in the design. Right, what steps are we taking to make sure that we're putting forward the best possible solutions for our customers?
Well, I think for what you're asking, so for Zakiki, they can basically play around with it themselves. And for the pieces that are cut, if you would want to use them for something else, I think that also gets put into Concentrus, as AutoCAD will give you the percentage of waste that was taken off already. And I think the customer, they can play with Zakiki, and I think they are allowed to change things around. But when it comes to the extra waste and stuff, I think that also gets placed into Concentrus, and if it's needed, we'll know that we have it.
We're also trying to minimize the amount of waste through AutoCAD, because AutoCAD, we can get more of a precise customized cut tile rather than just standard cut tiles and having to manually customize the cuts. So it just tries to minimize the amount of waste as a whole.
Awesome. Another question for you. So ultimately, it looks like we're going forward with this migration implementation, right? What are some of the things that you envision potentially being issues or some of the risks that we might face?
So kind of like we mentioned, we are pushing for this new cloud-based system, using AWS or Azure. So, like we said, the cloud is really good at handling, sharing data instantaneously amongst multiple users, multiple softwares, and keeping that in track. But if the system were to go down or become offline for an extended period of time, things would be lost. So I could see some issues with data loss, or if a customer sent over something in Zakiki, like a very bespoke design, it may get lost in the system, and you may have to go back and update it while it's being fixed.
So if we're pushing design out to our customers, what role do our designers play in this new model?
So your designers would, so they already use AutoCAD, as I understand it, and Adobe Illustrator. So we would essentially teach them further how to use AutoCAD more efficiently. While reading the case, they do use it, but I don't feel like they use it efficiently. So that we would essentially teach them how to count the tiles, make sure all the designs from the blueprint that they get from the architect are correct. So then they can send it to Zakiki in order to do the 3D modeling.
I have a follow-up question. I know you said that AutoCAD is native or to Zakiki or other way, but there's multiple systems that you're talking about here that need to communicate with each other. Do you know if they fully integrate? Do we know if we need to come up with an integration or a way for them to communicate from one to the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the blueprint, I know works with AutoCAD, but we also, should I show the slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what it would look like when, this is AutoCAD. As you can see, it'll show you the pieces, the custom pieces if they're needed. It'll show you full tiles and the cut tiles. And then on the left, you could see the script, and you can export that into Excel. So these work together, and then you can import that into Zakiki too.
So in other words, yes, they're all native to each other. They can all convert the files from one another and store them.
What about from Zakiki to Concentrus? Is that what you?
Yes, so the 3D models can also be either converted back into a CAD file and then stored within Zikiki. So if a customer wanted to come back and say like, oh, I wanted to update or change a color, they could go back to that, requisition number within Concentrus and pull up their 3D model.
Also, this was a script. I'm sorry. I said that it was on the left, but it's on the right.
So we're a pretty small operation comparatively, about 19 employees. Are we concerned at all about turnover with trying to make such a small team, trying to learn all of these different tools and systems, and how do we mitigate against that?
Well, we do plan, I mean, there is a lot of leftover money like in the budget. So we were thinking, like Alex said, it's about $1,800 to like train employees. So I think training on AutoCAD would definitely be beneficial.
But how does that, like if someone's resistant to wanting to learn new tools, they may leave the company. So how do we help mitigate against that?
Well, I did notice the, unemployment rate is pretty low. And I think with your guys' expanding company, and that will open up more opportunities for more people. And I understand you don't want to lose people, but I feel like these systems already integrate well. Like you said, we're already using AutoCAD and NetSuite, and those are already within the same companies that you guys use.
Time presented. Thank you for your presentation. Judges will give their feedback in this room at 11 a.m. Please return here at 11 a.m. if you would like to receive feedback on your presentation. At this point, you may exit the room with your license. As a reminder, you are not permitted to watch any other preliminary round presentations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.